not sad. You can play minor, you can write using minor chords and minor keys. And don't think of it as sad, think of it more as the darkness or mysterious or something like that, the shadows maybe. Where if the major chord, C, F, and G, is the light, the darkness would be found or the shadows in the minor chord. So you don't have to think of them as sad. A lot of people think it's sad. It's not. But a D minor, you guys all know the fingering for D minor, right? So that is the D minor is the second chord in the key of C. How about an E minor? And remember that the E minor is your little staircase. A lot of people, I'd say everybody knows that fingering, so good job there. The E minor is the third chord of the C scale, and it is a minor. Because it's using only notes from the C scale. And that's true of all of these. How about an A minor? Again, it's the mysterious, sad, sort of like the shadows kind of sound, but it's a nice, beautiful sound. And it's using only notes from the C scale. That's what's something that I hope you take away from this lesson, is that you're using only notes from the C scale to form these chords. So if you played a D, a regular D major chord again, you've gone away. You put an F sharp in there, and you're no longer using C scale notes. That's why we're playing a D minor. So back to D minor. By the way, what notes are you playing when you play a D minor?
F, D, and A.
From your chin to the floor. What's the top one?
A.
A. Then you go down.
D.
D. One more.
F.
That's an F and A. So your two A's, a D, and an F. All notes from the key of C, right? How about for an E minor? Let's talk about the notes we're playing in E minor. From your chin to your toes. G. G. Anyone know what that one is?
B.
That's an E. The fourth fret of the C string is an E note.
Oh, E.
The third fret of the E string is a what note?
G.
G note. And the bottom string, the A string, that note is a B. So we're playing G, E, G, and two G's really, and a B note. But all notes from the C scale. That's really the message here. In an E chord, you're using only C scale notes. And then A minor, what are the notes involved in A minor?
A.
A for the top. Next going down is an open C. Then what's next? An E note and another A. So two A's, a C, and an E. All C scale notes. And this is my point. I don't know, this is a thing I hope you can take away, that when you talk about the chords associated with a particular scale, the C scale notes are used to form these chords. The 1, the 4, and the 5 will be major chords using only notes from the C scale. You could do this with an F and a G and go through your notes and say, hey, they're all C scale notes. The 2 is a minor, the 3 is a minor, and the 6 is a minor. And that follows for all keys, all roots, whatever it would be. So at any rate. But we're in the key of C, right? So there's another concept that this lesson talks about, and it is the concept of relative minors. Have you ever heard of that? Relative. So if you have a C chord, that's a major chord, right? Every major chord has a relative minor. So if C is the major chord, there is a relative minor. But before we do that, let's go to F. Everyone play your F chord. And F is the major in the key of C. We know, we just discussed it. These are notes, I don't have to look, but I know I'm playing all notes that are in the key of C. What do you suppose a very closely related chord is to F that is also of these chords? Which one?
D minor.
D minor. Now play a D minor. So the relative minor to the F chord so related, like they share the same genetic material or
Well,
DNA.
the F is in the D minor.
The F, what do you mean, the F note?
The F fingering is
Fingering is
part
there.
of the D
You're
minor.
really only changing one note. 3 of these don't change at all. The only one you change is what? When you go from an F to a D minor, what are you changing?
The C to a D.
The C becomes a D. So, if you were to look at it,
Like my cheat sheet.
that's good. If you look at an F chord, here's an F chord, right? Now, if you look at the D minor, you're going to find that, like what Pam was just saying, the F chord is, let me think, I think I wrote that one wrong. That's an F, disregard that, sorry about that. Here's your F chord, and if you add this note to it, I'm sorry, it was right. F chord in the D minor, the only thing you're changing is a C to the D note. So they share, this is a takeaway from this. All major chords in their relative minor have to share at least 2 notes. So in this case, what notes make up F? This is an A.
A and an F.
But what are the 4 notes in an F chord?
A,
A, C, F,
F,
and
and A.
Right. In a D minor,
A, D.
you still have an A, an F. Now you have a D, so that's different, but the A remains the same. So they share, they are relative. And you can even hear it. Major chord. Let's play a G major. What notes are involved in a G major chord? Go ahead, keep strumming that G major. I'm going to draw it up here. Your G major chord has what notes?
G,
G, D,
D,
G,
G, B.
A G, a D,
and a B. Oh, I'm sorry.
another G, and a B,
G, B.
right?
G, B.
So can you think of one of these chords that are in the C scale, a minor chord that is closely related to the G chord?
E minor.
E minor.
E minor. If you look at it, I'm just going to use my pinky. If I just bring my pinky over, I'm playing an E minor. So again, you're only changing one note to go from the major chord, G, to its relative minor, E minor. You're making the D note into a E note, and that's the only change. Other than that, the chords are identical. They share the B note, they share the G note. So, if G is the major chord, its relative minor is G, E minor. So you're going to often find that you'll find G and E minor together because they are so closely related.
And isn't that a nifty little trick to just move your pinky
I
over?
know.
Which never occurred to me.
So is the relative minor always 2 steps below the major?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. That is right. You're absolutely, and so, and we'll get to that in a second. We'll talk about it. I'll show it on a chart. Mathematically, how do you find the relative minor? What Rob is talking about, there is a mathematical way to figure it out. So there's a few ways to figure it out, but let's do the last one. Which one haven't we done? The major chord is C. So if C is the major chord, what's the relative minor? There's only one left, so you're gonna figure this out. It's an A minor. Because they share notes. Both chords have a C and an E. An A minor has 2 A's, and the C major has 2 C's, but other than that, they share the sound. So the point is, some basic stuff, basic rules of music is that in always 3 major